Yo, yo, yo,
Let's
yo.
turn the sound on.
Man, had some technical difficulties going on there, but it's all good. How's everybody doing? We'll get started here in a second. Yeah, yeah.
I think you're way out of line talking to me like that. What you're saying is libelous, and you're in no position to challenge my expertise.
This recording is
Let's turn the sound on.
Hey, yo, yo, yo. Hope everybody's doing well. Yeah, we got to get this started soon. Man, I was having technical difficulties there in a minute. I was like, what is going on? But hey, first stream back, you're going to have those, especially on a new computer. That's exactly what happened. That's exactly what happened. We'll still give a little bit of time for everybody to get in here. Let's roll, baby. Yo, yo, what's up, everybody? What is happening? How we doing out there? How we doing? Let me pull this up here. Let me pull this up here. Yeah. Glad to be back here, huh? That beat smooth. Hey, listen, I appreciate that, man. You know how I get down, man. You know how I get down? Let me see here what that resolution looked like though. Let's see what that resolution looked like. Man, I appreciate you guys dealing with the technical difficulties. It's my first stream back, so I gotta see what this looked like, you know? Let me turn this light on. There we go. How's everybody doing? Let's go. Let's go. All right. There we go. Yeah, so Touchstone's back in the building, man. I've been gone for a while. You know what I mean? I usually don't like doing these live things because I'm not the live type of person. But you know, we'll make it rock. We'll make it work. We'll make it work. What's up, Viral Beats? What's going on? What's going on, Ghetto? Ordinary Saki in the building. You know? Man, what's going on in the world with you guys? How y'all all been? How's everybody doing? Let me pull this up here. Chat. It's crazy out there. Take care of yourselves. It is crazy. Man, I wanted to talk to you guys today about like a bunch of stuff actually. You know what's been going on with me, what's going on with you guys, you know? I could tell you recently I finally completed my hybrid studio. And, you know, if you've been watching the channel, you know that. And it's crazy because there's a lot of folks that I get messages from that want to get into hybrid production, want to get into hybrid studio production. So I decided to do a live, do a Q&A. If you have like any questions, put them in the chat here so we can, you know, answer those. If I have the answer, I'm not a know-it-all. I'm gonna be honest with you, but you know, I'll try to answer them as best as I can, man. You know, let's get some background music going on here. There we go. Yeah. Let me turn this up a little. There we go. Hey, Lady TS, becoming a member. That's what's up. Thank you. I appreciate that. What up, Lady TS in the house? That's what's up. Glam Girls in the house. That's what's up. Yeah. So, you know, I wanted to touch on this on one of my videos, but I felt like everybody was doing it, so I didn't want to do it. But Kendrick Super Bowl, how did y'all feel about that? Because I thought it was dope. I'm gonna be honest with you. I thought it was dope. I know a lot of people, I shouldn't say a lot of people, but you go on social media and you see people talking about it, and some folks are just like, nah, it was mid. I don't think it was mid. I think maybe in that situation, you didn't look deep enough. You didn't get it. Maybe it wasn't for you. You know what I mean? I don't know. Let me know, chat. What do y'all think about that? What happened in the Super Bowl? What y'all think? Hey, Glam Girl. Yeah, Viral. I thought it was dope. I thought it was dope. Sorry if I don't get to the questions here, the comments here faster. There's a little delay. I'm sure y'all know how this stuff works, but I thought it was very dope. I thought it was simplistic, but very creative, very artistic. You know what I mean? Yeah. Let me bring this up here so I can see. Yeah. I was upset that people were upset. Yeah. I don't know how you could be upset at that. I really don't. You know what it takes to even do a Super Bowl. I don't know how you could be upset at that. Goated performance. Yes. It had a lot of symbolism. And that's the thing. That's what I'm talking about. Like, how could anyone expect anything less from Kendrick when you heard his songs before and there's like double and triple entendres? So the imagery as well is going to be that. And that was my whole thing. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I think it set the bar for quote unquote rappers, because that's what everyone was saying. I think it's just art at its best. Yeah, man. What else is going on in the world with y'all? Because I can tell you right now, one of the subjects I'm going to be talking about here is hardware versus plugins. I know that is becoming more of a topic now because you have plugins that are starting to get really, really good in their sound. But I'm gonna be honest with you. When it comes to modeling plugins, like when they try to model like an 1176 or a 1073 or whatever compressor, an SSL compressor, guys, hot take here. I'm not a fan of those. I'm really not, because I do have the hardware of most of that stuff. Now, I will say here, some of those sound good, but they don't sound like the hardware. And I hate to break it to you. I hate to break your heart. You know what I mean? What up, Devin? What's good? You know what I mean? I hate to break it to folks here, but some of the plugins, most of the plugins don't sound like their hardware counterparts, especially if you have it, but they do sound good. I hope that makes sense, right? Like, so let's just say you get the UAD LA2A or 1176. I'm sure most of you know what that is. That sounds good. And it has like some of the characteristics of the hardware, but it's lacking that dimension. You know what I mean? That hi-fi sound. And that's okay because you can still do a lot with plugins. The plugins that I've been into recently, and this might shock a lot of folks, are utility plugins. And I'm talking about like plugins that are used for monitoring, plugins that can, you know, show you what your mid side is looking like, what your gain staging is looking like. I'm all about like utilities and effects. I get the most runway with those type of plugins. Now, when it comes to the hardware, I know West Audio right now is absolutely killing the game because people like that recallability on their hardware. But the thing is like, if you have pictures, if you have great notes, I mean, recalling things shouldn't be that difficult. I can see if you're like on a console, that would absolutely suck. But I mean, you know, on most tracks that you mix, how many pieces of hardware are you really using? Let's think about that. Like, how many pieces of hardware are you really using? Like, I can tell you right now, when I start to mix a track and do the thing, like on a mix bus, I might have 2 to 3 pieces of hardware. That's it. Like that's max. 2 to 3 pieces of hardware, and then the rest are plugins, which that once again comes down to the hybrid workflow. Actually, let me ask this. How many people in the chat right now have a hybrid workflow? Let me know. Let me see. I want to see something real quick. How many of you guys have a hybrid workflow? And I'm sure you know what the hybrid workflow. Yes, hybrid, right? The patch, exactly. Oh man, listen, the iPad app, the app for the iPad with the patch is, dude, clutch. Hybrid here, 7 vinyl suite, 7 vinyl. So what's your setup? What's your setup like as far as hybrid? You know what I mean? Because I feel like that's the future. Audioscape, SSL, SP Vitalizer. Fantastic pieces. Your SSL piece and your Audioscape piece. Are we talking about the Fusion? And what Audioscape piece? I'm curious. Cat's Meow. I don't know what that is. Oh. Cat's Meow for sure. Yeah, it is. I'm a big fan of it. You know, one thing that I don't like about the Flock audio patch, and this is my only gripe, is when you're recording at 96 kilohertz coming in, when you're recording, that thing gets hot and that fan kicks on. And sometimes if you're like, if I'm recording in a control room here, I'm getting some claps or some beatbox or whatever, I have to wait until that fan stops, or I go into user settings and turn the fan like to low. But I'm like, that can get dangerous because I don't want to overheat the thing. You know what I mean? So that's about my only gripe. 500 series outboard connected to oh dude, yeah, you got it going on. RME, look dude, RME is sick. Like okay, so I have the Lynx Aurora in the interface, and RME was like a close second. I don't even really want to call it like a second. It was like 1A and 1A minus right there. And I was seriously going to get the RME because their software and the way that you can route things and their stability is bar none. Like sometimes I'm like, man, maybe I should have got the RME, but I'm very happy with the Lynx. I'm very happy with the Aurora N. It's incredible sounding. It's very wide. It's very clear. It's punchy. It's got depth. I mean, what more, could we want? And that was a big upgrade from the Big Six. You know what I mean? Audioscape bus compressor, SSL Fusion. Dude, so looking at your setup with the Audioscape bus compressor, because I'm a fan of that. I have that. And the Fusion, I have that. And the SPL Vitalizer, I have that. So that is 1000% a killer chain. I believe, I agree with you 1000% with that. That is a killer chain because you can get all the color that you want with that Fusion and get that depth with that Audioscape. Man, it's so underrated. I kind of think it's underpriced. Personally, I think it's underpriced, man, but whatever. And that Vitalizer, that's a awesome sweetener box that you just throw in there at the end, man. Gives you that little bit of control in the low end and brightens everything else up. Oh, yeah. Good chain there. Good chain. Total mix routing is bananas. Yeah, dude. Like, okay, so the Lynx has its software and it's cool. It's a little dated to me. It's like very ugly looking, very simplistic. I don't know if you guys seen it, but it's very simplistic. The Total Mix though is like Pandora's box. You can do anything, and that was a big proponent of why I almost pulled the trigger on that, and the ins and outs. The reason that I really went with the Lynx is because of the modular, how you can change it out, grow it as you grow. That was big to me. Yeah. The worst part about hardware. That's the worst part about hardware. It turns into a studio sweatshop. Amen to that. You want to know the worst part about hardware to me? Is gear lust. Like, because once you get one, bro, it don't stop. It keeps going. And I've had pieces in my studio, which I paid a lot of money for, that are no longer here because, like, in the moment, it sounded good. It sounded great. And then I realized, okay, so hot take again, the Neve bus processor, I had that. I had it for 2 years. And I would say let's just put it on a round number here, over 100 mixes for a bus processor, over 100 mixes. I was able to use it maybe on like 7. Yeah, 7. I know, shocker, right? On some mixes, it sounded good. So if I'm doing things that are like real analogy, nothing hi-fi, no bright highs, there's not a lot of air, it did well. And I was really only using it for the silk, but that compressor on that thing is horrible. I don't know, maybe I was using it wrong, I don't know. So I've had a couple pieces and they're not here anymore. With the pieces that I have now, I'm okay with it because they're truly hybrid. You know what I mean? Give you that color that you're looking for. Dual Big Six or we're getting here. What do you mean dual Big Six? You have 2 Big Sixes? Is that what you're running? Wow, that's crazy. Holy crap, bro. Yeah, I was thinking about the Big Six, getting 2 of them at one point. I really was. The thing is that those things are so big. I just didn't have the real estate. I was really thinking about it, contemplating it at once, because at that point, it's a console. It really is. It's like a mini console. You got your faders, the whole thing. It's like a tiny Origin. That's it. Yeah. Okay. So you're running dual. Interesting. How is that setup working for you? I'm curious because I was going to do it at one point in time. Yeah. So I guess back to the subject here. Hey, make sure you guys are hitting that like button too. Make sure you're hitting that like button. I look for everyone that showed up for the first stream. Listen, I appreciate you. I was having technical difficulties. My OBS reset, so it was like trying to find my channel and stuff, and it didn't again. So I had to like get out, go back in, blah 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 blah. But we're good now. Exactly. Needed the routing options we use with the Luna. Oh, Luna, man. You want to talk about underrated? Luna. There we go. That's underrated. That's what I think. I think Luna's underrated. Let's get a closer view here. How are you liking Luna? How you liking Luna? I mean, I was a fan of it when it first came out. I think the big misconception with Luna is that most people think it's a DAW when it's kind of not. You know what I mean? It's more like a console. It's like working on a console. When I was like messing with it and whatnot, and I had the free trial. Luna's like working on a console to me, and I'm here for that. Like, man, I know I'm gonna sound weird saying this, but I feel like all of the DAWs are different, like different sounding. Like, it's weird, right? I know like there's been the null test and all of that stuff, but I think the way that those DAWs process the different plugins, and especially when you start to get to the ceiling of those DAWs, they start sounding different. They just do. Like, okay, so I use Ableton a lot, and I've noticed when I start pushing that ceiling with 808s in Ableton, they start sounding rubbery. And then you gotta like start using a clipper to gain some of that strength back, recover some of that with an EQ. Like, I don't know if you guys run into that. Like Pro Tools, to me, Pro Tools is dope because I feel like whatever you put in Pro Tools, you get out of Pro Tools. That I don't know why, it just always sounded like that to me. And then like FL with that trap sound is fantastic. And Studio One's weird. I feel like Studio One, which is my second favorite DAW, first depending on what I'm doing. Like, I usually create in Ableton and mix in Studio One. I feel like Studio One processes the plugins differently. They sound different. Like, there's certain plugins that I will use in Ableton that sound different in Studio One, and I don't know what that is. And I've tried it. I'm like, that sounds a little different. You know what I mean? That really sounds a little different. I don't know, guys. Let me know in the chat if y'all run into that, because maybe it could just be me. You know what I mean? Like maybe it's a different gain staging or something. I'm not sure, you know? But I trust my ears, because my ears have gotten me this far. You know, it's gotten me some bigger clients in the past, here in the future, right now. So I trust my ears. In certain DAWs, I don't care what no one says, they sound different. They just do. Exactly. Needed routing options in Luna. Yeah. Ghetto. I've never been able to get into Luna. Look, dude, I'm not like a user of Luna like that. But when I did use it, it was dope. Especially when you put like all the oxide tapes on all of the channels, all of those groups. Dude, that sounded good. It just did. And I mean, come on. It's UAD. They're one of the best plugin companies out there. Or they used to be. I feel okay. I feel like Waves and UAD are kind of in the same boat now. Like, they were OGs and they had some really good plugins, and they still do. But some of these new companies that sprang up in the past like 7 years, 10 years have really caught and surpassed them. One of my favorites, Plugin Alliance. Dude, I feel like everything Plugin Alliance makes is good. And I'm not a paid sponsor. They don't even know who I am. I just do. Another company that comes to mind is FabFilter. And also soft tube. Soft tube's been around for a minute. Actually, they were making a lot of the UAD stuff back in the day, and they just kind of went into their own. And I feel like stuff that soft tube puts out is just great. It's phenomenal. Sounds good. Yeah, dude, soft tube is crazy with it. Soft tube is absolutely crazy with it. We use it live as a routing brain option for Pro Tools. We route the carbon into the Big Six analog, then use Luna parallel process. Oh, dude, what kind of studio you got? Like, are you a commercial studio? What do you think is best mix bus processor right now? Okay, interesting question. Thanks for asking. So, if we're talking software, okay, so with that question, I feel like that's a 2-tier, because if you're looking for a mix bus processor that adds color, then I still feel like bang for your buck, the SSL Fusion. I really do. I feel like bang for your buck, the best processor for your mix bus, hardware wise, even their software, their plugins, but it's the SSL Fusion. I've used quite a bit of them too. You know, now you can build your own. You can build your own chain with like a 500 series. Like if you get a 500 series and you start adding different things to it, like a different compressor. Like I'll tell you right now, you want to get some color, the Phoenix Audio stuff. Holy crap, dude, the Phoenix Audio stuff is crazy. Yo, France in the house, what's good? Thanks for joining. I appreciate it. Listen, color wise, yeah, Phoenix Audio. But if you're looking for one box, the solid state Logic stuff, their Fusion is good. Now I know there was what's the yellow one? It looks like a school bus. I forget the name of it. But they kind of got a processor unit too that's decent. You know, that's decent. Phoenix in the house. Let's go. Now, software wise, this might shock you, and it's a fairly new plugin, and I've been playing with it. And for bus processing, and this is why I say it's 2-tiered. If you're looking for something that gives you like color and effects, bro, Hex by Serato. Call me crazy, but I've used it on my last 2 mixes, and my clients went apeshit. I'm not even joking. They're like, hey, that's the sound. That's what I'm looking for. And I'm like, interesting. Because I did it by accident. I'm sure we all had those, like those happy accidents. You go to put on one plugin that's in your favorites and you do that. And then you hear how it sounds and you're like, whoa. And then you mess with the blend knob and do all that stuff. Yeah, the Hex. I know I'm going to lose a lot of you there, but I'm telling you, that thing is super dope on a bus. Phoenix in the house. What up? What up? Thomas, what do you think of the God Particle plugin on a mix bus? I love it personally. I just don't like the limiter. I'm with you. The limiter, so that's funny you say that. I use the God Particle, and the way that I use it is I turn it on, but I turn off the God Particle. Then I start turning it up, creeping it up. And then when I feel like it's too much, I come back about maybe 2 decibels, anywhere from 2 to 4 decibels, right? And then I start messing with the low, mids, and highs, depending on the mix. Sometimes your highs are never going to be there, especially if it's something like boom bap. It just ain't going to happen, right? But then the limiter, I don't use that limiter. I use the Sony Oxford limiter. I use that in conjunction with the inflator. Actually, I have a 2-tier system. I'll use the Pro L2 by FabFilter, and then I go into the limiter from Sony Oxford, and that's my chain, and I'm able to not sacrifice dynamics, but still get like 8 LUFs, right? 8 LUFS. I'm still able to get that. and it still sounds good. I know 8's that sweet spot. I know some of y'all out here are getting 4 LUFS. Holy crap, dude. Like, but I hear it. The music sounds like a brick, whatever. You know what I mean? It sounds like a fart. But yeah, and you know, I should say this too. It really depends on what type of music you're doing. Like, you know what I mean? Like if you're gonna sacrifice dynamics and peaks and stuff because you're doing the loudness war, that's fine. Oh, the Vertigo. Oh, dude. Yeah, the Vertigo. So I've heard about the Vertigo. I've never had a chance to use it. So I can't speak on that, but I can tell you the people that have been using the Vertigo, they love it. They love it. They can't get enough of it. You know what I mean? And I'm sure it's great. I heard the saturation on that is really, really good. Like the what is that? The Thermonic stuff, the Phoenix, the Thermonic stuff. I heard their stuff is pretty good too. Thanks for the heads up on the news and the Neve feeling about the Hive Infuse. Oh, dude, that Infuse is sick. Yeah, that good purchase. Congratulations on that. That's a great purchase. Yeah. So my guys in here, my folks in here who have hybrid studios, let me ask you, what are some of like the drawbacks of that? You know what I mean? Like, because I can tell you one of my drawbacks, and this is just purely just my situation, is that I feel like I have too many options. You know what I mean? Like when you're working on just like let's say just the MPC in the box standalone MPC, it pushes you to do things differently because of limitations. I've noticed as of late, like when I'm running MPC in controller mode, and then I got my montage, the Yamahas, and then the Prophet 6 and all of this stuff going, I feel like I almost overproduce sometimes. You know what I mean? Like I'm spending hours on a section or hours on a track. You know what I mean? Instead of like that first 15 minutes, getting the idea out and then just going with it and then moving on because I've hit my track limit or I've hit my RAM usage limit on the MPC or whatever. And you just start going with that. So that is probably one of my biggest drawbacks of having a hybrid studio. Probably my only one, to be honest. I still love being hybrid, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Yeah, that Vertigo, man. I looked at that at one point. Yeah, I looked at that Vertigo at one point and I was like, I was going to get it. You know what I mean? I was going to get it. Oh. Yeah, I was going to get it. No Diddy. I guess that's what we're doing nowadays. Gosh. What happened to that guy? I don't know. What happened to that guy? Guess it all catches up with you. Yeah, so hold on. I had some questions here I prepared for you guys. Cool. So, chat, let me ask you, because I have those days, man, and I don't know, maybe it's just me, but having to take pictures of all the settings on the hardware units and don't have the software, dude, that's a big con. I was talking about that earlier. Like the recall on some things, it depends, right? Like if it's recording, like I use a lot of pieces going in to my interface for recording. I use like a lot of this. Now, when it comes to mixing, I kind of kick back on it because I print. So it depends. If it's on a bus, the recall can be easy, but if it's more individual tracks and you're using more pieces, yeah, that sucks. Yeah, no, I get you on that. I keep my MPC key 37 away from the computer. I toss the USB cable. Too many options with the computer. Yeah, dude. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm an MPC controller guy, and purely for the reasons of because I'm using my Links converters, right? And then I got access to all my plugins. But I've also noticed that when I'm on the MPC just in standalone, I feel like my ideas just go. I don't know. You know what I mean? It's so weird. I feel like my ideas just come out. I commit. I don't have a hard time committing to anything. And it just goes. Yeah. Hey, make sure you guys hitting that like button too. Appreciate that. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, you know what has a crazy sequencer in it, and I'm a fan of it, is the Yamaha Montage. Dude, that sequencer in that synthesizer / keyboard is dope. It's a workstation. It's not really a synthesizer, it's a workstation, but I was working on that for years before I even went inside the DAW. And I feel like once I went inside the DAW, it opened up a world of comfortability, right? Like, it's like, oh, I could nudge this over, I can do that, I can do this. When you're in these standalones, you really have to commit to what you're doing. Really have to commit. I prefer gear when people come over and jam and create. I often prefer the computer when I'm just chilling by myself. Something. Hit the keys. What's up, bro? I can see that. You know, like, I feel like sometimes the DAW gets in the way. You know what I mean? Like, it adds to the creativity, but it also like takes away from it a little bit. You know what I mean? And I feel like when you're just on your gear, it's you and that gear. It's that connection. It's like your sword. If you're like a samurai, it's an extension of you. Your DAW is kind of like it's like Deku with all the corks. Oh man, I cracked myself up. Yeah, nerd talk. it's like Deku with all the corks. You know what I mean? I know some of y'all are like, man.
What the fuck was that? I'm sorry, I wasn't thinking about it.
Yeah, I know some of y'all like that. What's up, Malo? How you doing, man? Welcome. Thanks for joining the stream, bro. Hey, everybody, something, hit the keys. And Malo Beats, there's some great creators. Make sure you give those guys a follow as well. Very supportive in the community. They have been since day one, man. And they make some really dope content, very inspiring. Make sure you follow those guys. 803's in the house. What's up, man? How you doing, brother? Yeah, 803. He's a great musician. You talking about some dude on the keys? Look, if I need key parts played that I can't play, 803's your man. I'm telling you right now. Yeah. Masada Beats. What's up? BBB. Yeah, that's what's up. Oh, you throwing that word great around pretty loosely. Nah, man, you guys are great creators, in my opinion. You know, I think y'all are real good. You're consistent. You know, I learned a lot from both of you. Blessings. Thank you for sharing the knowledge with you. Hey, anytime, bro. Anytime, man. You know, shout out to the BBB. Masada. Masada's a legend, by the way. I hope you guys know this. Masada's a freaking legend. You need to check him out, man. He makes some dope kits for the MPC. His cycle kits are genius. I'm not even like understating that. Masada is a legend. I found that putting the DAW to the right or left, old tape machine remotes let you focus on the speak. Woo! That's a bar. What is it? Is it Mix Bling? I hope I'm saying that right. Mix Bling, that is a bar for sure. I can't understate the relationship or overstate. I can't overstate it enough. The relationship between you and your speaker. Like, okay, this might sound weird. Have you ever like been making a beat and you get to a part and you like, it could go this way, it could go that way, and then you get up and walk around the room and your relationship with your ear and the speaker change, and you hear the part you need just like that, or you hear something different. It's like a psychoacoustic kicks in and you think you heard something that you didn't, and you're like, oh, just by from standing in a different part of the room, and you go back and try it and it fits like a puzzle piece. Yes, the relationship between you and your speakers is, I think, the most important. Sometimes I got my couch right here and I'll be playing and I'll just go sit down on the couch and then let that be. And then I'll hear it totally different. Absolutely. Shout out to the BBLs too. Y'all wildin'. Shout out to the BBLs. Oh man. Hey, just pointed, first time viewer, just reacting to the title, gear indeed overrated, software, hardware, they're just tools. You know what, Phil? I couldn't agree more. I feel like all this is just tools. All of these, everything here. So I get asked that question by a lot of producers, especially if they're young, you know, even older guys. Hey, do I need hardware? The answer is no, you don't. But I'm going to tell you yes, depending on your application. Now, I know a lot of people say, hey, I mix in the box, and that's fine. And then sometimes you hear their vocals and you can tell that the recording source itself wasn't like high quality. And that's where I really start to get into conversion and hardware. Is recording into that stuff into some higher end converters so you can capture that high sound. And then when you mix, you can mix in the box. Like the beginning of the stream, like these plugins have come a long way and they're only going to get better. You know, I guess that's a question right there. Do you guys feel like we've hit the ceiling for plugins? Because I feel like every week I turn around, there's a new plugin. I really do. Respect. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I do the same with my couch. Right. You just go sit on the couch, bro. You hear the music differently. I'm going to make a beat for a new artist and I'm going to use some of those God drums. Yeah, that's what's up, man. I'm glad you like it. I worked hard on that kit. By the way, God Drums is out right now for anyone who's interested. If you don't know, the link is in the bio. I created a drum kit that are like very clean, crunchy, boom bap sounds that cut through the mix, but it's also for addictive drums. So if you have that, I got my presets in there. And then I also got process drums from those kits that I've ran through my hardware chain and things like that. So if you're interested, I appreciate it. Guys, hit the like button. Help our brother out with the algorithm. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Thank you. Today's audio faces have good converters. I agree. What matters for good audio recording is a good room, good mic, and of course, good singer. Absolutely. Hey, can we talk about that? Performance and mic discipline? Like, I don't hear too much people talking about that. Like, I do see a lot of people talking about the good recording, good room, good mic, but the microphone discipline and also a good singer that knows their voice, so they know how to say certain words to make them come through. They know how to back off the mic when there's certain high parts and stuff. Like, microphone discipline is a huge thing, because as an engineer, when you go through, before you even start running any compression or whatever, say I get a session from someone, I'm looking at the waveform and I can see like microphone discipline from the waveform. When you've been doing this long enough, you can start to see like, oh, leaning to the right, leaning to the left, because the dynamics of it, especially if it's kind of a monotone. So I will go through, I will cut certain sections and clip gain those. So therefore, when I'm running that into my compression, it's not working the compressor so hard. It's not working it so super fast. You get that consistent performance. Big thing. We absolutely haven't hit the ceiling with plugins. Why do you say that? Why do you say that? Like, what more do you feel like plugins need to do or can do going forward? Like, what more do you feel like they can do for our music? Because I feel like there's so many different emulations of a 1073, my head swimming. I feel like there's so many different emulations of an 1176. I'm done. You know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of emulations. I was talking about earlier, I'm in agreement with utility plugins. Like, have you guys ever heard of like Hornet Hive, Hornet Audio? I think it is. They have this normalizer plugin that's fantastic. Man, it's fantastic. Yeah, good singer is important. Sometimes I have to coach people when recording them. Absolutely right. And that's our jobs. That's really our job, especially if you're like slash producer as well. You're gonna have to coach them. What would be awesome is a playlist and videos on basic gear maintenance. I see a lot of videos, reviews, but not a lot of posts, purchase, multi-year ownership, upkeeps. Oh man, brother, I could talk about that all day. Dude, I am maniacal about that. And the only reason I'm maniacal about that is because of my first couple of pieces. Oh, I didn't take care of my first couple of pieces of hardware that I got, and it shows, right? Change the song up a little bit. My first couple of pieces, I had the Golden Age Pre. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. It's like a red little box here. Golden Age Pre. Here, let me hook up something. For those who haven't seen my setup, here. All right. I'm going to attempt it. Check one. Wow. Check, check. Check.
New Super Chat. Mandatory viewing is now in effect.
Hey, I appreciate the super. Man, there we go. It came back. Weird. But yeah. So get back to, yes, like hardware. So if you ask me, do just for record check. Hey, thanks for the super chat. I know. Thanks for the $5, man. Let's go. Right. Yeah. So most people, I guess most people days like it. Yeah, I do. It's buggy. It's the OBS gate. After this. Yeah, Phantom's on. Mic source. Yes, is bug right now. I'm not sure. Check. Yo. Okay. Yeah, it was louder. Microphone